Hello students, in this lecture we are going to study about the losses happening in a transformer. First of all, let's understand the basic construction of the transformer. Through the basic construction of this transformer, we can see that there are two basic parts that are comprising our simple transformer. That is, first is iron core, and the second part is the copper winding through which the current is flowing, and through the iron core the flux is flowing. So the losses that occur in a transformer are two types of losses. First, occurring on the iron core, that are core losses, and second type of the losses occurring in the copper winding, that are copper losses. Ideally the transformer losses should be zero, but in the practical transformer these two types of losses are seen. Now we will be studying the differentiation between these types of the losses and their significance. So first let's start with the core losses. Now, as we all are aware that the transformer works on AC supply, and because of this AC supply, alternating flux flows through the core of the transformer. The path that is provided for the flux is only the core path, and this alternating flux is responsible for the continuous magnetization and demagnetization of the core. This continuous magnetization and demagnetization produces the hysteresis effect in the core, resulting into the hysteresis losses happening in the core. So first type of the core loss is our hysteresis loss, and these hysteresis losses are given by the formula Kh multiplied by Bm raised to 1.67 multiplied by F multiplied by V, where Kh is the hysteresis constant, which depends on the material, the type of the material that is used to construct the core. Bm is the maximum flux density of the flux flowing through the core. F is the frequency or the supply frequency in hertz, and V is the volume of your core. On these factors your hysteresis loss depends. Now we can see that all these factors are constant parameters possessed by the particular type of material and particular type of circuit. If the voltage applied to the circuit is constant, your flux will be constant. That's why the flux density will be constant. Volume of the core will be also not changing with respect to time. So these losses, this is the hysteresis loss measured in watt. Now again, when we are talking about EMF getting induced in the core, this EMF produces eddy currents in the core. Eddy currents is a type of current that is produced because of the continuous magnetization and the EMF induction in the core. Now this eddy current produces a second type of core loss, that is eddy current loss, and this eddy current loss is given by the simple formula Ke multiplied by Bm square multiplied by F square multiplied by T square. We know that Bm is the maximum flux density and F is the frequency. Now Ke here will be eddy current constant, again depending on the type of the material and the current flowing through the core, and T will be the thickness of the core, again a constant parameter. That's why these losses are also constant losses. Now this hysteresis loss and eddy current loss combiningly form the iron losses, that is denoted by Pi and measured in watt. Now these two types of losses are constant losses as they depend on the constant parameters only. So we can say that for a transformer the iron losses are always constant losses, not depending on the load parameters, and these iron losses can be minimized by using the high grade material like silicon steel. So this was about iron losses. Iron losses are made up of hysteresis loss, eddy current loss, and the iron losses are always constant losses. These are some significant parameters of iron losses. Now the second type of losses that happen in the transformer are copper losses. Copper losses are the power wasted due to the resistance of the primary and secondary winding. That is, they solely depend on the primary coil and secondary coil, and these coils are made up of copper. That's why these losses are called as copper losses. These losses are nothing but simply I square R losses, and total copper loss that happens in the transformer is I1 square R1, that is primary copper loss, plus I2 square R2, that is secondary copper loss, and these copper losses are denoted by P suffix Cu. Now if the current in the transformer is at full load, the copper loss measured at that time is known as full load copper loss. If the current is at half load, then the copper loss is measured at half load, and these two will be different because our copper loss is directly proportional to current square. So the load is, if the load is changed, your copper loss will be changed. So we can conclude that our copper losses are variable losses. Now, from this we can understand why the volt ampere, why the rating of the transformer are measured in volt ampere. We have already seen that copper iron losses are the constant losses. They only depend on the connected voltage. If the connected voltage is constant, then flux will be constant, and therefore the flux density will be constant. That means iron loss will be constant. So basically iron loss will be depending on V parameter, and copper losses are dependent on the current parameter that we have seen in the previous section only. That means all the transformer losses depend on V and I only, but not on the power factor. That's why the transformer rating are measured only specified only by the product of V and I. So the transformer ratings are always VA rating, generally specified in kVA, that is kilovolt ampere. So if we see the specifications of any transformer, the ratings of the transformer will be given in volt ampere. Now from this we can determine the full load currents, the primary full load current and the secondary full load current. Primary full load current I1FL will be kVA rating of the transformer multiplied by 1000 divided by the primary voltage, and secondary full load current will be I2FL kVA rating of the transformer multiplied by 1000 divided by V2. So this was about the losses happening in the transformer and the dependence of copper losses on the current. The key points that we have to remember here is iron losses are always constant losses and the copper losses are the variable losses proportional to I square. Now from that we can calculate copper loss on different load condition. Let's say copper loss at full load is denoted by PCU suffix FL at full load current I suffix FL. So PCU copper loss at full load will be proportional to I square full load. Similarly, if we are considering copper loss at half load condition, that is at the current of half load, here the copper loss will be proportional to current square at the half load. Now, if we take ratio of these two quantities, we will get full load copper loss divided by half load copper loss is equal to full load current divided by half load current whole square. But half load current will be exactly half of the full load current. That means the fraction with which the current is changing is 1 by 2. So the ratio of full load copper loss to half load copper loss will become, if we place the value of half load current in the denominator as full load current divided by 2, the full load current will get cancelled and we will be only remaining with 4 on the right hand side. That means if we rearrange the expression in terms of half load copper loss, we will get half load copper loss is equal to n square of the full load copper loss, because full load copper loss will be 4 times half load copper loss. That means half load copper loss will be 1 by 4 times full load copper loss. If so, it is simply implicated here that if the load is the fraction of full load current, that is n times current, n times full load current, then the copper loss, the new copper loss will be n square times the full load copper loss. In simple words, if load is nth fraction of the full load, then new copper loss will be n square times the full load copper loss. Some examples are mentioned here. If we are talking about 3/4 of the load, that is current will be 3/4 of the full load current, then the new copper loss at the 3/4 of the load will be 3 by 4 square times the full load copper loss. Similarly, if we are talking about 7/4 of the load, 7 divided by 4th of the load, that is new current is 7 by 4th of the full load current, then the copper loss at 7/4 of the load will be 7 by 4 square, that is n square of the full load copper loss. And for a transformer, the total losses that are happening on the transformer will be the summation of iron loss per plus copper loss measured in watt. So this was all about the losses that happen in a transformer, which are of two types: copper loss and core loss, happening in core and winding. And core losses are the constant losses and copper losses are variable losses. These all concepts are needed in understanding the concept of efficiency of the transformer, that will be explained in the next lecture.